everyone, we got a ton of Norwegian cruise news over the last few weeks, so I thought I would just smush it all together and do a fun little Norwegian cruise news catch-up story. So let's talk about Norwegian Cruise Line. Hey everyone, John here from Byte Size Cruises. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking all things Norwegian Cruise Line. There's been a lot of shakeups and different things going on, so I wanted to just address a bunch of different things in one video. As some of you know, I love Norwegian Cruise Line. It feels like the most home cruise line for me. It's the cruise line I've sailed on the most. So it's interesting, a bunch of different things are going on here. So first up, in 2023, David Herrera became the president of Norwegian Cruise Line. Harry Sommer moved into the parent company as CEO. And it became a little interesting few years. We had Prima and Viva come out. We had Aqua and Luna startup, and then all of a sudden, David Herrera steps down a few months ago, and Harry Sommer takes back over as president and CEO. So interestingly, a few months go by, and now Norwegian has announced that the board of directors has appointed John Chidsey, a director of NCLH, he was on the board, as president and CEO effective immediately. Harry Sommer is stepping down as president and CEO. This all kind of changed in the past few years. Early in 2023, Frank Del Rio, who was the former president and CEO, retired, and now we've had all this flux over the past few years. The company is saying that Sommer's departure was a part of strategic leadership change and that the department and resignation did not involve any type of a disagreement with the company or any matter relating to operations, policies, or practices. Sure. During his tenure, John has been a highly respected leader and a strategic voice. He is now the right person to lead the company through its next phase of execution and performance improvement. So he was the chief executive officer of Subway Restaurants for 5 years. He repositioned the brand, modernized the operations, and strengthening their long-term growth, and he was appointed to the board of directors in February of 2025. He previously was on the board from 2013 to 2022 under the direction of Frank Del Rio. So this is really, really interesting that this happened at this time, considering that David Herrera had just stepped down and there was a lot of flux over the rollout of Prima, Viva, and Aqua, and now we're seeing this. So let's get into some other cruise news for Norwegian. They have flipped a little on their freestyle dress code. I'm kind of in favor of this, to be completely honest, as I've been seeing more casual and casual dress attire on cruises, which I love. I'm here for it, right? I wear jeans most of the time. As you can see, I have a hoodie on right now. I'm pretty all in on freestyle casual dress. However, I think there's a time and a place for everything, and too freestyle or too lax is usually a problem. So here's what we got for 2026. We have a slight dress code update coinciding with the It's Different Out Here campaign. Not that it has anything to do with that, but here's what we got. So shorts and flip-flops are welcome anywhere around the ship, just not in certain restaurants. So shorts and flip-flops are no longer allowed in Palomar, Ocean Blue, Onda, Cagney's, Le Bistro, and the Haven restaurant. These are most of the higher end specialty dining restaurants, which is totally fine. Cruise Line had a long-standing rule against wearing shorts to dinner at Le Bistro and also Ocean Blue and Palomar. So now it's just pushing this out for different specialty restaurants. They're saying you should dress smart casual in most of our upscale restaurants. For women, that includes slacks or jeans, dresses, skirts, and tops. For men, it's jeans or slacks with a collared shirt and closed-toed shoes. The rules do not apply to kids because they're kids. The main dining room has updated its dress code a little bit. We love a laid-back vibe with just a few easy guidelines. No tank tops for men. No baseball caps. No visors, and no jeans that are super faded or ripped. These are all pretty straightforward and easy guidelines, I would think. I don't think there's any issue with any of this. I think it's fine to be just normal casual. This just comes down to they don't want people wearing bathing suits and swimwear and different things into restaurants, which I think is very, very acceptable. So some people are upset about it. I don't know. It's not stuffy. This doesn't seem stuffy at all. It's just the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum of putting clothes on for dinner. Remember, this is for dinner. So breakfast and lunch, you could head to the main dining room. You can wear shorts and flip-flops. You're obviously getting off the ship and all, so you're fine with that. It's fine. This is just for dinner. Put pants on. Takes 5 minutes. Next bit of Norwegian cruise news. Fincantieri wins the order for 3 new cruise ships from Norwegian Cruise Line. They are going ham with ordering cruise ships right now. So they've signed a major agreement for Norwegian Cruise Lines for construction of their 3 next generation cruise ships. So this is going to be for one of each of the Norwegian brands. NCL, one for Oceania, one for Regent Seven Seas. Each will be the sister ship of a current vessel that's already going to be delivered by Fincantieri. So these new ones are all going to be delivered between 2036 and 2037, which is 10 years away, which is crazy. The Norwegian ship is going to be the largest. This is part of their massive next class of ships that's going to come out. It's about 227,000 gross tons, which is slightly larger than the Oasis class for Royal Caribbean, and holds about 5,000 passengers, which is about 10% less than the Oasis class, which is really nice. The Regent Seven Seas ship is going to be around 77,000 gross tons, holding about 800 people. And the Oceania ship is going to hold about 1,300 people and be about 86,000 gross tons. This is awesome news. If you love Norwegian, that means they're going to have a ton of new ships coming out. We have Luna, and then we have 2 more ships coming out in the Prima Plus class that are going to be 10% larger than Aqua and Luna. And then we have all these ships coming out in this next class over the next 10 years. So just tons of new ships coming out. Speaking of all this and all the news, Norwegian Cruise Line stock is surging over the last few days. An activist investor is pushing for big changes. So stock surged on Tuesday. Luckily, I bought some stock on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Maybe Tuesday, because Monday was President's Day. But I put an order in for stock because it dropped with this whole announcement of the new president and CEO, and their stock is the cheapest of all the cruise line stocks. So that was great. So an activist investor who purchased 11% of the stake in the company, which is really interesting. Elliott Investment Management Company revealed their stake. They said in a letter to Norwegian's board laying out a plan for a shakeup of its board, along with changes to improve guest experience and profitability. Who knows where that's going? Over the past decade, the company has fallen from best in class to a clear industry laggard, suffering from inconsistent strategy, weak execution, inaccurate guidance, and poor cost discipline. This is what Elliott wrote in its letter. This is really kind of a scathing review of the leadership of Norwegian over the last 10 years, as we've seen in the previous cruise news. So obviously we know that they switched over to the new president and CEO. I'm sure that is part of this whole plan. Elliott said it's prepared to take its case directly to shareholders at the annual meeting, suggested the proposed changes could help Norwegian stock recover to its pre-pandemic level around $56, which would be more than double what it is right now, which leads me to want to go in and buy more stocks. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't listen to anything I say about anything, because if I was, I wouldn't be creating YouTube videos right here. So one last bit of Norwegian cruise news. This happens probably more than any of us want it to happen, but it does happen on cruises a little bit. Norwegian Cruise Line is working with the CDC to investigate a potential outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. This has happened on Royal Caribbean and some other cruise lines as well, generally related to plumbing in the hot tubs. So there was an outbreak of Legionnaires or Legionella on board of the Norwegian Encore in December. I was on the Norwegian Encore in January. I don't want any of that nonsense. It is a potentially life-threatening illness that is contracted by inhaling water droplets that are contaminated with Legionella bacteria, which grows in warm water systems like hot tubs. This is yet another reason not to go in hot tubs on cruise ships. Forget about the fact that they're gross people soup areas. Forget about the fact that kids are in there scuba diving. with their little flippers and things on. God knows what else they're doing in the hot tubs. Now we have Legionnaire's disease. Let's all stay out of the hot tubs, people. So they're alerted all the passengers that were on these sailings. They want everybody to get checked out, make sure everything's good. So again, just another reason to not go in the hot tubs. That is all the Norwegian cruise we have for you. News this week. My next Norwegian cruise is on Luna in May. So let's see where all of this goes. If you have any questions or need any help planning your next Norwegian cruise, please shoot me an email at jp@bytesizecruises.com. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a wonderful day and happy cruising. Bye.